Hi, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you've joined me today. I am Kelley Pitts, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Lubbock, Texas. And I am thrilled to be here showing you how to make these Joyful Days Memories and More card pack cards. And we had a fun time, as you can see by my reindeer ears. You can imagine having 10 people over here at the house, all making cards with the reindeer ears on. It was quite a lot of fun. So whether you're joining me from Facebook Live or YouTube Live, or if you're watching a replay on either one, I'm thrilled that you're here. Thank you for supporting me and my small business, and would love to get a thumbs up if you enjoy the cards. This is 1 out of the 8 that I will be doing. I'm going to try to do several of them quickly. I have a virtual class at 3 today, so with Stampin' Up. So I'm going to try to do several videos before then. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll show you how to make this one. Most of the cards were kind of a fun fold, but they're still pretty simple. And I split up the pack of Memories and More cards so that I could create 8 Christmas cards using 1/6 of a pack. So you could really make 6 of each of these designs with one of the packs of Joyful Days. And that is from the mini catalog. This is on page 13 in the September through December mini catalog. And I will switch this over so y'all can see the card better. And let me know when you're here. I would love to have your comment so I can talk to you. I won't feel so alone if you'll let me know you're here. All right, this first simple card is a cherry cobbler base. And I've got a new light, so y'all have to let me know what you think of that, if it's helping or not. But we're going to move this up a little bit. And we've got in fact, we'll just move that out for a moment, since this is pretty self-explanatory. All I have done with the Memories and More card pack, and these come in 2 different sizes. They come in 3 by 4 and 4 by 6 cards. And I have just cut 3/4 of an inch off the right hand side of this. And I do have a Google form. Hopefully, I had lots of technical difficulties this morning trying to get this on. So I tried to link the Google form below for you to get if you're interested in a PDF for all these measurements for all 8 cards. Or I actually do have, I believe I have some Class to Go kits still left. I'm going to have to check and see if I just have some that haven't been picked up, or if I actually have some kits left. I think I do. So this is a Z fold card. So we're going to just simply fold this backwards. And of course, this is scored at 4 1/4 like we normally do on 5 1/2, sorry. 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And then it's also scored, that would be at half of that, which with a cold I'm not sure my brain's working right, but I would say that's 2 3/4 inch. We can check it with a ruler. Let's just check to make sure. Yep, 2 3/4. Thank goodness I found a ruler that's not all worn out. But I wanted to show you the I really liked this backing. I would think I tried initially to put this card layer as the early espresso that would match that paper, but the black really makes that pop, I think. So we're going to go ahead and we can glue the black layer. You have to think about what layer is on the bottom and then what layer is above that and above that. So this one is on the top layer, but it has the twine wrapped around it. This is the linen thread, and linen thread comes now in linen thread regular natural, and then it has a pack of the early espresso with the old olive, which in all the Class to Go kits, they got a full roll of each of those. And then my embellishments are going to be a little bit different. But that's all we have is the card base. And then we've got a 4 by 5 1/4 inch white for the inside. We have a layer of I believe this is 5 1/8. Let me look at my little cheat sheet here and see. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So it is almost the full size. There you can see it's just bare. It covers everything except just the edge. So we can go ahead and put that on if we want. There's a lot of different ways we can do this. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this on since we don't need to do anything else to this layer. And rather than putting it on here and guessing where to put the glue, I'm just going to put it right here. And I didn't do my glue maintenance. I tease my people that come to in-person classes who have their glue all stopped up. I tell them they don't use it enough and they have to do a little glue maintenance. So if you use liquid glue, sometimes you have to use a little pen to get it to come out because it does dry. That's what glue's for. So we can't complain too much, but just don't go all the way to the edge and you'll be great. So we've got a teeny tiny border all the way around. It's about 1/16 of an inch. So that piece of black, like I said, is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So just 1/8 inch off of the regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 typical card front. Okay, now before we do anything to this, we can't glue this down until we wrap the thread around it, the linen thread. So, and I hope I am not using a pack. I had to grab this at the last minute. I couldn't find mine that were open. So I may have to order somebody else another set whenever we do if y'all want class to go. And let me know if you have any questions. I will try to watch the comments. And this is a good lesson here to always try to find that thread in the middle rather than trying to get frustrated and go with it from one end. But I should have done it. I should have done it off camera, that's for sure. Let's see if that's the end. Usually it's around the middle. And if y'all have any tips for this, let me know. Because I don't want to get frustrated and give up here. Is that it? No. No. We'll talk amongst yourselves. Let's switch over to the green and see if this is any easier. That looks like it's tucked in right there. So we've got that one going. Now let's see if we can see anything on our early espresso. There's got to be an easy way, huh? And I just don't know what that way is. There we go. Okay, so that was not right in the center. So maybe I'm looking in the wrong spot here for the linen thread one, the natural. But I love linen thread. I love how it ties. I love you can make bows out of it. I love how you can make double bows. You can make triple bows, which is what we're doing on a lot of this. A lot of these cards in the 8. Is that it? No. Goodness gracious sakes alive. I'm having a hard time finding that. Usually you can just kind of ruffle it a little bit and it will pop out of there. Maybe I have a different roll of linen thread that is within reach. Let me see. I at least have enough for this card, I bet. Yes. Whew. Thank you, Lord. I do have enough. So we're going to use this one. Now, the way I do mine, you can go ahead and cut yours ahead of time if you want. And I said approximately 23 inches of each. And I'm just going to show you how to tie it off the roll. I think you save a little bit of thread this way. And in fact, I think I'll show you how to just attach a bow. We'll just wrap this around instead of wrapping the whole thing and tying the bow on camera. I think we will tie the bow separately and attach it. So we're just going to right here. Oops. See, I told you my brain's not really working properly yet. Now, do we want that a little bit lower, or is that about right? I think that's about right. Okay, so I've just taken all three colors, and they're still on the roll. Do that. Then we can go ahead and put Stampin' Dimensionals on the back, and I'm going to go ahead and use black since we're attaching it to a black base here. Everybody all ready for Thanksgiving? I have not gone to the grocery store or anything. We're going to some friends' home because heaven knows I don't cook very often. All right, I think this is, we may just really pop this up so it stays. All right. And like I said, we've got white dimensionals and we have black dimensionals. And when I'm using a black paper, a lot of times I'll go ahead and use the black dimensionals. Otherwise, I forget to use them except for Halloween time when I use a lot more black. Okay, so we will just attach this, and that's barely got about a 1/16 of an inch border also, because I have cut this 4 by 6. I've cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4 because I've cut this side off right here. Okay, so we're going to put that on the inside. All right, now we're going to take all three colors again of the linen thread, the natural and the mossy meadow, and I see indeed I'm not doing this on camera for the rest of these cards. I'm going to cut these ahead of time. Okay, we'll see how this goes. I'm just going to tie a little bow. And so you can just take all three of them and tie a triple bow all at once. And I'm just pulling those three through. Then you can hold on to the knot if you're adjusting the size of the loops or the tails, whatever. Now, I want a little foof there. I want a little tail. And you can kind of adjust those, make them all come down behind like that. When you get it exactly like you want it, then you can tighten it up by pulling on both the loop and the tail at once. And then it should be tight and stay in place. I think that one might be a little too long still. See how we like that. It's a little bigger than on my last card, but I think that works. Take a tiny bit more off. And we're going to grab some glue dots on a roll. And I think it's easier to take the embellishment to the glue dot and then just stick it on there, pull it off, and then you don't have to mess with it with your fingers so much. Get all these little tails down here, get the loops where we want them. It's a little bit longer extended bow than the other one had. So each card will be a little bit different. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You're creative, you do it your way. Kathy, I'm glad you are joining. I understand that. Holidays are difficult when you've lost someone in your family. And we will certainly pray for you as you go through this. But I'm really glad you tuned in. Hopefully, and this will help you when you come. Kathy is one of the ones who got a class to go kit, but she's going to kind of come start making a little bit of that here tomorrow, since she didn't get to make the class on November 14th. Okay, when you're doing the inside here, before you glue this, you always want to stamp first. So we are going to do that. We're going to stamp our little Merry Christmas. And this is from the traditional labels. The Merry Christmas is. And then we're using Cherry Cobbler ink. And we're just going to kind of what we call audition our pieces to see where this is going to go. This is going to sit right here, but I'm not going to glue it yet. So if I make a mistake with the stamping, I have somewhere to go with it. All right. When I added that light, I've kind of moved my camera. So kind of getting used to my new area there where I can stamp. Okay, and y'all can see it. So we're centering this Merry Christmas left to right and kind of putting it at the top using some pressure. Since it's a pretty big stamp, we want to use plenty of pressure and let it soak in. Try not to wiggle, just straight down, straight up. And there is our lovely Merry Christmas. Isn't that a pretty font? I like that. And so now we have our inside ready. We'll just use our little silicone mat and glue this. We want to make sure we glue this where it's continuous. Not that anybody would notice probably, but I would. So we won't want to do it upside down. You want to do it where it matches this side. And I'm putting it all, usually I don't put it all the way over to the edge. I leave some space. But in this case, since it continues from the front, I'm going to put it on the very edge. And then we're just going to glue this here to the inside. And like I said, that's a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white. So there's your simple Z fold, but it really utilizes the entire front. The entire piece, the card, Joyful Days card from the Memories and More card pack. Now we're going to just add some embellishments and we will already be done with this card. Isn't that awesome? All right. And in the Class to Go kit, you get a half pack of these foil gems, iridescent foil gems. And I'm going to use the putty end of my Take Your Pick tool to do this. And we'll just let's put one up here. You kind of want your greeting to be the focal point on something like this. So I usually do a pattern of 3 because your eyes always like 3. Kind of gives you somewhere to go. So I want this lower one. I want it to be not an equilateral triangle from those, but definitely a triangle. I kind of like this. There we go. So those are pretty foil gems. So if y'all are interested, I'm glad you like it, Kathy. Thank you very much. And if anybody else has any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will switch the camera over and say goodbye and get ready for the next video. I'm going to try to do several in a row here. And hopefully this lighting is helping. I'm not sure. Y'all let me know if you saw any of the videos I did yesterday. All right. All right. I'm going to switch over the camera and hold the card up one more time. Thank you for tuning in. And if you need any of the products, they are linked in the video. If you'd like to get the PDF or a class to go kit, check out that Google form link and that will help you on your way. Thank you very much. Contact me if you need help. Fun times ahead. Stay tuned and I'll do some more videos right quickly. Thanks. Bye-bye.